all protocols to be observed. My name is Wallace Eniguma. I'm here to present the book titled From the Corner of His Eyes. It's a book by Dean Koontz. He's a very famous author in the US. Some feel he's a prodigy of Stephen King. Maybe most of you have read the book. Most of his books are A Door Away from December, Misery, and many other books he has written in his career as a writer. So the book, From the Corner of His Eyes, is about a young boy called Bartholomew, Bart for short. So these stories are surrounded around the characters, which are Agnes, Bart, his mother is Agnes Lampion, while there's also Cain, then there's Jacob and Edom. So those are the main characters around the book. Then there's also a detective called Thomas Vanadum. So Bart, he was born under mysterious circumstances. As a baby, he exhibited genius while he was growing up. He was extremely intelligent. So on the day he was born, there was a fatal accident which he lost his dad in the accident, and also his mom died while giving birth to him as well. So he moved on. He stayed with his mom's younger sister. So for the time being, he started exhibiting some extraordinary talents out of this world. He was able to transcend. Parallel universes. If you are conversant with Stephen King or Dean Koontz books, you see that in their books they always have some elements of science fiction where they are able to. It's all about your imaginations. They put your imagination to the test. So Bart was exhibiting this parallel universe transcension where he could stay here and of his eyes, and he was seeing lines on what he was reading in school. So the doctors diagnosed him with a rare case of cancer, where his eyes they will have to be removed. So he underwent the operation. It was successful. His eyes were removed, and he now, since he didn't have eyes anymore, he was not able to build up on this his extraordinary gift, so to say. So he was not able to go places and see things. Then there was this little lady also. Her name is Angel. She was another key character in the book. When she was born to a rapist father. His name is Cain. He was a psychopath. He's a man that read these books of Cyrus Z, which had different quotes. Live now, act now, and think later. Those were his beliefs. Where people act now and think later. You just act without thinking of the consequences in future. So he read these books most of the time. So over time, he started having this philosophy, that he could do things and just live life the way he wanted to live. So he ended up raping a young girl who gave birth to Angel. Angel was a beautiful little girl, because the writer had a way of bringing the characters to life. I will encourage us to read Dean Koontz novel. He brings the characters to life. So she was a young girl. She also had these gifts. So while Cain was reading this book, he got engrossed in this idea. He started becoming a psychopath, without control. He started going far more into the dark side. So as time grew, he was seeing Angel and Bart in his dreams. Because Bart was also complaining also that he was having nightmares. So each time he was about to commit an act, Bart or Angel will see. So they were not able to connect. Meanwhile, Bart was married to a lady before, which he tricked her just to gain financial standings. He pushed her off a fire tower for financial gains to have some benefits. So the fire tower, since he was going to get some benefits, he claimed that it was an accident. Of course, they'll have to pay compensation to him. So that was how he killed his wife. Then also when they started connecting, there's this detective, like I said earlier, Thomas Vanedum. He had this ability to also, he could see things. He was a very smart detective. So when Cain gave his testimony to the police and also in court, he was able to sniff out that Cain wasn't saying the truth. So he dedicated his career to tracking down Cain, and he was going to prove he was guilty for killing his wife. So Cain also knew and went after the detective, but unfortunately he couldn't kill him. But he tried, but he couldn't kill him. So Thomas, in return, didn't want to come back like he was still alive. He tricked Cain to believe he was dead, but he was still appearing, still investigating him. So Cain was not afraid that maybe Thomas came from the dead to hunt him, you know. So that's how it went. Thomas kept on gathering evidence. He tracked down Bart. Since Bart was also complaining that he could see Cain, he tracked down Bart. He was able to link also with Angel. Meanwhile, Angel had the power to send somebody to, because Bart could only see you in the parallel dimension, while Angel could send you to where she wants to send you, and she doesn't have the power also to bring you back, because when she was a kid, she had the stepdad was very brutal to her. So as a kid, you know, they sketch in their colored book in schools. So she sketched a book filled with giant insects and sent the stepdad there. You know, he couldn't bring him back. So in the end, just to wrap up, a quick wrap up of the story, Thomas came to kill Bart and or an Angel as well. So in defense of Bart, Angel was able to send Cain to a parallel universe where he could not come back, where he could not harm anybody anymore. I think that's basically the whole story, the whole plot, the story of the book. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. What a spectacular review that we have from him. So let us proceed to the next participant, Ms. Fatin Hazwani binti Ibrahim, with her book entitled Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to all of you here. Well, I'm here. I'm Fatin Hazwani binti Ibrahim, and I'm going to share with you this one book that I think that has the most impact on me. It's most precious, most valuable, and I'll let all of you to have a bit of thought just like mine. And Chicken Soup for the Soul, that's the title, and you don't have to take it literally. It's not a cooking book. It is chicken soup for the soul. It is something that inspirational, have some values that all of you can applicate in your life. And I've been reading this chicken soup for the soul book for years, but then only now when I entered this event, I have the incentive to know the history. The authors are Mr. Jack Canfield and Mr. Mark Victor Canson. They are the authors for the first series of the books. They compile all motivational stories from all around the world. And for your information, this Chicken Soup for the Soul book is a book that consists of real stories from real people all around the world about courage, inspiration, love, and etc. And I have this one book that I really adore, which is Chicken Soup for the Mother and Dr. Soul. When I read this book, every woman is a daughter, every woman has a mom. And when I read this, I felt something in my heart because it tells stories that maybe we don't feel, and they try to put it in writing. There's one story. A mom was born, a mother was born by this lady, Regina Philip, Miss Regina Philip. She is having her first pregnancy, and during her pregnancy, she's prepared a lot of things for her labor. She prepared baby clothes, she prepared the techniques to handle the baby, and also she prepared to handle the feelings that maybe after a woman getting labored, maybe they have mixed feelings, right? She said she's really prepared for her this first pregnancy, and then after she got her first baby, a daughter, she said that she's afraid. I'm wondering what she's afraid of. She said, afraid of the little baby is so fragile of the world. The world, as you know, there's a lot of bad things. People are having different attitudes and wondering if her baby will adapt to the environment, and because of that, she's really promised herself that she'll take a good care of the daughter and will take every steps, every initiative to make sure that her daughter gets the best in the world. And from the story, I think I remember a lot about my mom. She's kind of a strong person, and I'm really grateful for having her as my mother, because she's everything to me. And then the story also says, mother is not only the birth mother for us, she's everything. So from the story, I learned a lot, and I tried to improve myself to respect my mother and try to do everything to her. And then this another book, Chicken Soup for the Pet Lover Soul. This is a story about a boy, a child. He is, if I'm not mistaken, there's something wrong with his feet. And then he really loved to buy a pet, and then he's a poor guy, poor child, and he only have $2+ in his pocket. And then when he goes to the pet shop, he asks for a dog. And then the pet owner said the dog is not worth it. The dog that he chose is just like him. Something wrong with his feet. He couldn't move well. He couldn't play well. So the owner said no, right? And then the child insists on going to buy that pet. And the reason is, I have the same condition. I have the same problem as the dog. So I know what is feeling for people not to appreciate who we are. So from the story, I learned a lot, and I get inspiration on getting prepared for myself to be better, and don't look down on others, because everybody, every single person in this world have their own specialty, have their own ability. So this person can do this thing, and the other person cannot do the same thing the other person does. So well, it's just these two stories I've like to share with you, and I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fatin. I believe many of us are familiar with this book, especially the teenagers, because it's one of the very popular books in the world. So, let us move to the next participant, Suguna, anak perempuan Selva Kumaran, with her book entitled Life is an Open Secret. Think about it.
Good evening, everyone. I am Sumina Selvakumaran from Faculty Bioscience and Bioengineering. The title of my book is Life is an Open Secret. Think about it. It's written by an author named Sabrina A. Baca, also known as Sis Sabrina. She is a motivational writer who worked as a peer in United States of America, Canada, United Kingdom, and Brunei. Sis Sabrina obtained a Bachelor of Accountancy as well as MBA from International Islamic University Malaysia, and currently she is completing a doctorate in Business Administration at University of Newcastle, Australia. Basically, this book has 173 pages and 18 chapters, which are a story from ordinary life experience. For me, this book is very good for everyone to read because it is about up and downs of life during our modern time and how to deal with it. The language of writing is not bad, very interesting, and the author also put an element of jokes in writing that make the reader enjoy their reading. What I can say about this book is it was easy to understand because the author used a simple English. Even a child can understand the story easily. The purpose of this book is all about the life happening and guide our life down the right path through learning from others' story and make our choice for a proper way we should live for our life. After finish reading this book, I think the author, Sis Sabrina, success in delivering a message behind each story to the reader, and they will find something that they will feel from the story. Every chapter, or it was called Secret as a chapter in this book, reflect the daily and routine of our life and our everybody relationship with others. It is about the inspirational story that have their own meaning behind it and suitable for mankind regardless of the religious and or social background they might have. The secret in this book tells us to appreciate and love our mother as long as she lives in this world. As our mother's children, we should fulfill our responsibility to her and obey our mother. Besides that, one of the secret book discussed about we should make a change and choose our path wisely. If we think that there is a hole in the street we are currently on, move to another street and see because the change that we had made with us successful and learn how to be brave and bold to make a change. The chapter that captured my interest is about sharpening and improve our communication skill. Say the words and do the action. In this secret, we have to practice what we preach. Words and action are complementary, and without one of is essential, it makes the other one incomplete, and author elaborate and discuss about how is important the word and the action taken from the word. This secret about to improve our communication skill is related to other secret that is about be careful with our word and choose the word with care. We have to say what is good only because sometimes if we are wrongly saying sometimes to people, it will hurt them badly. Even words that come from our mouth can never be written, and because of that we should be careful what we say to others. Words can be very hurtful. In this book, each chapter written by the author is connection with one another. That is why I do feel that this is a comprehensive book and of inspirational and motivation. Every explanation in this book, there is a story to support it to explain more about what is the message want to deliver by the author. All the chapter written is very interesting, and I can say that after finishing read this book, there is something that I get from this book. The story in this book can be applied to everyone, regardless to their religious, and not only for the Muslim because. So I recommended this book to everyone who is looking for the motivation book. Thank you.
Thank you to Ms. Subuna. Such inspiring book, sounds very interesting. Maybe we can find it either in library or maybe here today. So, last but not least, let's have Mr. Izzuddin with his book entitled The Potato People.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to everyone. Well, as what our Master of Ceremony tell that today I will give some review about my books that I already read it for last 10 years ago during my secondary school Form 2. The book's name's The Potato People. Maybe for the first time when I'm in secondary, I think that's the book with the people in the size of potato, you know. So I think a little bit crazy on that time because I'm a little bit lousy with this English, you know. So it's hard to understand, especially about the literature. So I push myself to understand what the literature is all about, and I take The Potato People as my reference, and Alhamdulillah, until now I still remember what is Potato People is all about. Well, at the beginning, I'm sorry for once again that I understand everything is about Potato People, but I don't remember until now who is the author, how many page, everything is okay. But for me, what we call as my favorite read is how deep you can absorb all the information, all the stories, all the memorable things that you can take as a reference in your, what I call, in ensuring you can get a better life, better understandings about what other people's having right now in their life. Okay, so Potato People is about one what we call small village with small farms, you know, potato farms. But there is one man, I'm not sure the name, but I still remember that is the man that came up with one solution, because during the summer there's a problem with the farms and all the potato get into a disease, and all the people in the community try to find out